Hi, I'm Tracy Schuhmacher, and I'm here with Steve Eakins, the chef of Radio Social. How are you today, Steve?
Hi, Tracy. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Why don't we just start, because even though you're a popular place, not everyone's going to know who you are. So why don't you just describe real quick what Radio Social is?
All right. So yeah, Radio Social at the forefront. It's an entertainment venue where we have a ton of offerings. We like to define it as a social club in a sense. We do have games that people can relate to as far as bowling goes. We're the modern version of a bowling center, where we're doing everything as thoughtful as we can and at the highest levels as possible.
Okay, and so you were closed for a much longer span than a lot of restaurants were. What has transpired? You opened in late August, right?
Yep.
And what happened in the meantime?
Yeah, I mean, so we were closed for a very long 165 days here, from March 16th to August 28th. I think, initially it was really when things started to kind of get bad there in March, and we saw the ugliest parts of what we're all dealing with. It was a concern for safety of the community, really starting with our staff, and then our guests, of course, and then making sure that we didn't have any exposures to any of those individuals. And then furthermore, with the March 16th was the day that Governor Cuomo decided to close dining rooms and bars for the interim phase 1, 2, and 3. And I think we, kind of weighed what the short-term and long-term ramifications would be on the business, and decided it would just be best for us to pause for the time being. And then ended up being longer than we had expected, but we're just really excited to be back at it.
And it looks a lot different. A lot of the games that were there before are gone, but it's very open and spacious, wouldn't you say?
Safety is key. Again, starting with our staff, we wanted everyone that was, rejoining the team to feel comfortable at work. So we have created more space in our working environment as far as the kitchen goes and service areas. We've renovated the front of the house, if you will. That has really cost us a little bit of space for games, but that's truly mandated by Governor Cuomo at this time. The timing of him reopening bowling alleys aligned with our opening phase, so that was great. But right now, the only gaming offering that we have is bowling at a safe distance. So we've eliminated every other lane so that we can keep groups safely distanced from each other. And then we have some additional tabletop games that we're utilizing right now to just keep that fun vibe going.
Great. Okay, so moving on to food, which is your, thing. Radio Social always was very different in that it had a high-end, fine dining, Mediterranean restaurant there. So what has changed in your reopening?
So we have two dining concepts. One being the one you're speaking of, that's Restaurant Ophira, which is a Middle Eastern inspired cuisine with a thoughtful level of service or full service experience in the front of our place. And then we have a pizza shop, simply put, called Shortwave, where we do a lot of food that you can eat with your hands while you're gaming or bowling. So we do brick oven pizzas out of there, as well as burger, fries, wings, things to that effect that are just great high level comfort foods that go along with the gaming aspect.
Yeah, well, and so you told me that at Ophira, the fine dining one, you've changed the concept a bit.
Yeah, so we just reopened Ophira as of last weekend. So we've had the last 2 weekends to get our feet wet a little bit, and we're doing a prefix menu for Friday and Saturday night exclusively. The menu will change weekly according to seasonality, of course, but it's really a great value. It's a 3-course meal where you're getting a bunch of mezza, as we say, or vegetables and spreads and our house-made breads to start the meal. And then from there, you have a choice of a main course. And then from there, a nice little dessert to finish. And hopefully from there, you're able to spend some time bowling or enjoying the space as you like.
What would be the example of some of the main courses or the mezza that you served in the first couple of weeks?
So really, it's the for us, it's an ideal way to start an Israeli or Middle Eastern meal, if you will. So we want to spread the table. All of our house-made spreads, we're known for our hummus, of course. We make a lot of really great breads in house, from pita to kubani and challah and all of these different applications. So you want to start the meal with very vegetable forward, some of those spreads that I'm speaking on, and then just a bunch of small plates to kind of get the palate moving in the right direction. From there, we want to create some choice options. So we have the first 2 weeks, we created three main course options, one being vegetarian and one being chicken or seafood or beef. So that allows the choice. And then from there, we have a nice little light dessert to finish and take you into the rest of the experience at Radio Social.
Sounds good. How did you get involved in Middle Eastern cooking, Stephen?
Really, it was the vision of the Morgenstern family, the ownership family of Radio Social. Dan and Randy and Noah are Israeli, and that it was their hope and dream that we could open a high-level restaurant with doing Israeli food. Prior to opening Radio Social, I was able to take a trip with Noah to Israel and engulf myself in the cuisine. And it was an incredible experience to just be able to eat multiple meals a day and really learn all of the different aspects and big and bold flavors and all the vegetable aspects. I mean, it's really a very approachable style of cuisine that to me is very similar to a new American style, where it's a melting pot of all these different cultures and really molded into one to become this really amazing and accessible style of cooking.
Wonderful. So is the menu only dine in, or are you doing takeout as well?
We're doing takeout of all of our food. So for right now, you can call in and place orders for shortwave and Ophira on Friday and Saturday. Of course, we still have our great brunch option on Sunday morning and afternoon, and that's coming out of the dining room in Ophira. So all of that food is available for takeout, and we can do curbside, we can do pickup within the house, and it's really up to you.
Sounds good. And I think I saw tables outside, right?
We have some seating outside while the weather holds on for us here. So we have some patio seating in front. We have some fire pits out back as well, and so a lot of different space or environment to kind of be in as you see fit.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that Radio Social is huge. There is a lot of space there, not just horizontally, but even vertically. It's a very, very large space.
We want to feel comfortable for people, for sure. We're granted the ability to fill the space with 50%, but really, from our point of view and at the management level, we want to still feel safe. So we haven't even really approached that 50% number at all. We want to keep, safe distancing amongst guests and amongst staff. And as we grow and get better at things, we'll consider, getting closer to that number.
Yeah, I even noticed when I went there last week to try your pizza that they were doing the temperature. They scan the ID for for tracking. So yeah, it does strike me that there's a lot of thought put into that. A lot of plexi around staff members.
Yeah, temperature checks at the door. We have, we're doing ID scans for the ability to, like you said, do contact tracing. Knock on wood, we haven't had to utilize any of that thus far, but we just want people to feel comfortable. It's a very unique space where, typically speaking, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of interaction, but we've tried to corral that a little bit as much as we can, and just make people feel great about being there.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining me. So you're open Wednesday to Sunday at 20 Carlson Road. Is there anything else you'd like everyone to know?
I mean, we're just happy to be back at it. We appreciate all the support in the community since we've been open. It's a challenging time for our industry, of course. So any way possible that you can support restaurants and hospitality businesses, please do so. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, whether that's gift cards, takeout, dining in, bowling with us, as you feel comfortable, please come and see us.
Good message. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Tracy.